So people often ask me, what are the benefits, what are the perks of being an intelligence agent, JLB? What are the benefits of pursuing this path in life? And I say to them, look, in my experience, and I've only been doing this for a few years, but in my personal experience, the best thing about being an intelligence agent is that I get to share good news with people. I basically get to be the bearer of good news. I get to be one of the light bearers. I get to bear good news that good people will want to hear. And then people say to me, but JLB, what good news are you talking about? And then I say, well, have you got a moment? Let me tell you about some of the good things that I get to tell you all about. And it takes me several minutes to get through just the basic points. But before we get into all of that, let's take a look at the screen right here. This is John LeBon, super agent John LeBon, and the brain of the apocalypse. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know what the word apocalypse means, or what it is supposed to mean, etymologically speaking? Apocalypse, the word apocalypse. Oftentimes, when we think of apocalypse, we think of doomsday scenarios, nuclear bombs, plagues, end of the world, all these kinds of things. But what does the word apocalypse actually mean? I'll give you a moment to think about it. Let me show you what the word apocalypse means when we look at the word etymologically. An apocalypse is a disclosure of knowledge or revelation. In religious and occult concepts, it is usually a disclosure of something hidden, a vision of heavenly secrets that can make sense of earthly realities. Well, geez, that doesn't sound so doomsday-ian, end of the world, does it? It doesn't sound so terrible. So why do we imagine the apocalypse is a bad thing? Well, that goes back to Hollywood programming and Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and these kinds of things. But in reality, the word apocalypse, once you understand it, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a fantastic thing. If you like to know the truth, then an unveiling of the truth is actually a fantastic thing. So let's go back to Super Agent John LeBon, the brain of the apocalypse. This is episode 1 of John LeBon, the super agent. And at this point you might be thinking, well, hold on, JLB, is this your book? Did you write this book? Is this one of your books that you have released? The answer is no. I didn't write this book. This particular book was apparently written by a person who calls himself Alex A. Now, those of you who've seen some of my videos, you know that I look somewhat similar to this. I usually wear a beanie, and I do have long hair at this point in time. But I don't have beautiful blue eyes. This guy has much more beautiful eyes than me. Look at those eyes. Look at that. Fantastic, beautiful blue eyes. My eyes are actually green, which is funny because a lot of the intelligence agents who I know, their eyes are also green. I don't know why this happens, but no, Alex A, his eyes are blue, mine are green, so we're not the same person. Look, it's almost strange, the beanie and hair thing, as a coincidence. But this guy actually released his books after I began doing my podcasts and videos. And so by amazing coincidence or synchronicity, it turns out that we've got a French-Canadian publisher or writer or author or illustrator releasing his John LeBon series. And at the very same time, your main man John LeBon right here, right now, has been the brain of the apocalypse. He has been at the forefront of unveiling the way that the world really works. With regards to things like the Cavendish experiment, the experts believe they can weigh the Earth with heavy balls in a shed. It was John LeBon who revealed that. History as we know it is a complete and utter sham. You think there was this thing called ancient Egypt or ancient Rome or ancient Greece or ancient China. Those are all make-believe, as hard as that is to get your head around. This is the fact of the matter. There are no primary sources for any of these ancient civilizations because they are in fact all a hoax. Nikola Tesla, this great inventor who supposedly came up with all these devices, never actually existed. And this is very easy to demonstrate, and I have demonstrated it. So in just a few examples, your main man John LeBon has been the agent, the brain of the apocalypse, of the unveiling, of the revelation, of the truth of this reality to you and to thousands of people across the world. Now, do I think that this makes me special or wonderful? No, I don't. I'm just a regular person just like you. I live in Brisbane and I work a normie job and I have very simple hobbies and interests. But for some reason a few years ago I decided to go down some rabbit holes that have led me in one way or another to become, effectively, the brain of the apocalypse. So getting back to the original point, you might be thinking, well, how is this good news, JLB? Why is this such good news? Well, you see, I got mixed up with the so-called truth movement a few years ago. And it turns out that a lot of these people truly believe that this is a bad time to be alive. They see themselves as being unfortunate or unlucky to be born in this time and place. But what I'm here to tell them and what I'm here to tell you is that this is a fantastic time to be alive. I am blessed and you are blessed to be here, whether or not you realize it. And we live in a time and place where any person, including some regular person, some regular dude from Brisbane, can create his own multimedia company, his own multimedia business, put out books or ebooks or videos or podcasts or articles or posts, his own blog, his own website, release his material to the world, and anybody who's interested can read or watch or listen, and they can take part in the comments. And over time, what anybody can do, and I'm proof of this because I've done it, is they can build up their own little network of intelligence agents as well, people who are willing to reconsider what they think they know. And this leads me to one of the things that caused me to make this video today. I'm now at the point where I can't actually keep up with the comments on my own website. When I first started it, I would be lucky to get a comment. Even just a few comments a week would be amazing. A comment a day, man, I was laughing. Well, now we're getting several comments every day, and it's very difficult to keep up with the comments because some of the topics that people are covering are very in-depth. But I'm doing my best to keep up with the comments, and what I think will happen is next year, when I go full-time with this operation, is I'll be able to reply to all comments and all emails in a timely fashion. It's going to be fantastic. Now, that brings me to this video. Let me share with you guys a video that I found on Keyframe 5 Thailand. I'll put a link in the info box below. This is a tour of an apartment in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is basically the hub, it's the mecca for these people who call themselves digital nomads. And what these people do is they start their own online business and they move to low cost of living countries to put all of their time into their business. Now, what you should do ideally is start the business as a side hobby or a side hustle while you've still got a normie job. And then once it gets to a certain level, then you go and move to Southeast Asia or to South America or to Eastern Europe. You work on the project full time and you develop it so it becomes a full-time business. And I've already achieved the first phase of this. I have built up my online business to be so successful by my standards that I can afford to move to Chiang Mai or to South America or anything like this. So you've just seen this tour of this apartment in Chiang Mai. How much do you think this would cost? This is in a city that, yes, it's Southeast Asia, but what a lot of people don't realize is that Southeast Asia is very developed in certain places. So this particular apartment is right near shopping malls and cinemas and restaurants and gyms and anything that you could possibly think that you would need. This is close to it. It has its own bathroom, as you saw, and its own little fridge, and it's self-contained. How much do you think it would cost to live in a place like this in Chiang Mai, Thailand? This particular apartment costs 250 Australian dollars or 6,000 baht per month. That's less than half of what I'm paying for a single room here in Brisbane. That's less than half, man. So when I move to Chiang Mai, Thailand, or to one of these countries, I'll literally be spending less money than I'm spending here for better quality. That room is better than the room I live in right now, okay? And so this is my plan for 2019. I've got a member of johnlebon.com who is offering to give me accommodation for a couple of months. Let's find him. Where is he? He's somewhere in here. Nig and Tropic, there he is. This fellow here is saying, JLB, come and stay with me in California. So that's exactly what I plan to do. So right now I'm finishing up at my normie job. I called my boss and I said, hey, listen, bro, that little side business I was doing, it's going really well. I'm up to over 100 members on the website. Everything's going fantastic, and it's time for me to move on with my life, to move overseas and move on to the next phase. But you've been a good boss to me, so I'll stay while you train someone up to replace me. And I kind of thought the boss would say, oh, that'll take a couple of weeks, mate. Book your ticket for a couple of weeks, and by then I'll have trained someone up. What he said to me was, can you please stay till the end of the busy period? Can you stay till the end of February, which is when our busy period at my particular normie job happens to end. January, February is our busy period. Well, he's been good to me, so I said to him, sure, man, I'll stay. You know, if people are good to me, I'm good to them. And thanks to my boss being so good to me, I've been able to work at that normie job a couple of days a week for the past, 18 months. And put all my time into this website. So he's been good to me. He's helped me to build this website, so I feel like I kind of owe him. So I was like, sure, man, I'll stay till the end of February. So that's what I'm going to do. But at the end of February, guys, I am moving to California to stay with Negan Tropic. Now, something could happen. Who knows, man? Maybe he sells his house and moves and I can't stay with him. I've got more than a dozen people from my membership list telling me that I can come and stay with them. So I'm going to America. That part is definite in 2019. And then eventually I'll make my way to Chiang Mai, to a place like that. And I'm going to work on the website full time. And nothing is going to stop me. And this is the really good news that I'm here to share with anyone who's willing to listen. Anybody who tells you that you can't talk about the so-called truth, that you can't talk about so-called conspiracies, that you can't talk about media fakery or these kinds of things, anyone who tells you that you can't talk about those things because you'll be shut down if you try, those people are in fact liars. Anyone who tells you that you can't do what you want with your life, that person is in fact a liar. You can do whatever you want. You can do your will. And if you are committed to it, if you believe in it, if you think it's a good thing, you can succeed and you will succeed if you put in the effort. This is the good news that I'm here to share with good people. Now, there are many people out there who don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear that they've got complete control over their lives. They want to hear that someone else is responsible for them and someone else is responsible for their failure to make something of themselves. So when someone like me comes along and says, you can do whatever you want in this life, I can show you how to be successful, there are people who say, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that I'm a victim. I want to hear that I'm a victim of circumstances. I want to hear that it's not my fault that I've achieved nothing, it's someone else's fault. Those people will accuse me of being all kinds of things. They'll project whatever they want onto me. And if you become successful, they'll project it onto you as well. These people are not good people. We are surrounded by people, some of them good, some of them not so good. But if you're a good person, let me tell you, you can achieve whatever you want in this world. And I, for one, am only just getting started. So we've got more than 100 members on johnlebon.com right now. That number is only going to keep on growing. And nobody is going to stop me. And as more people learn about the history hoax, more people are going to join the website. Take this article, for instance. It's been getting some comments on johnlebon.com recently. This is a piece that I released called Reconcile the Dark. This little rock here is from Göbekli Tepe. You might have heard of Göbekli Tepe, this ancient burial ground in Turkey, where supposedly ancient civilization has been found to go back thousands of years. And as you can see, I've superimposed it on a scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And so in that particular piece, I go through the official story of Göbekli Tepe, this ancient civilization, these ruins that supposedly exist, and I show you how this thing is a complete joke and an obvious hoax. And I also demonstrate that the truth of the world has been conveyed to us, the regular people, through mainstream film. That's right, people like Stanley Kubrick and others, they have shown us the truth of the world, but in a cryptic way. And once we understand how to decode that code, how to unlock the code, how to see through the code, just like sci-fi in the Matrix, once we understand that, it all becomes so clear. I share that with you, and I share that with all the people who are on johnlebon.com right now. More than 100 members, people are starting to get it. Not everybody's going to get it, but people are starting to get it, and they're discussing things, and you can be part of that. Now, some people will come back to me. Let's take a look at the membership options here. Some people will come back to me, and they'll say, JLB, it's too expensive. It's too expensive to be on your website. You want me to pay a $60 entrance fee to be part of your website? That's too much. And I say, yeah, for some people that is too much. $60 to be part of the only website with real skepticism in the world today. More than 100 members who discuss these kinds of things. More than 100 people who discuss the revelation, the apocalypse that's taking place right now. That's too much. To those people I say, yeah, it is too much for you. I don't know what you spend your money on. Maybe you spend your money on Netflix or movie tickets or processed food or alcohol or drugs or more clothes, more haircuts. Who knows what you spend your money on, but yeah, if that stuff is more important to you than this, then yeah, it's too expensive. But what's going to happen is more people are going to say, you know what? $60 to check out what's going on, I'll take a look. And when they do, they're going to stick around and the website's going to keep growing. And I'll tell you why the website's going to keep growing, because we are in the midst of an apocalypse and unveiling, and I'm only one part of it, and you can be part of it as well. So I'll put a link in the info box below, go and check it out. But that'll do us for today on the 30th of November. So check the links in the info box below if you're a member of johnthebond.com. Go and check out this piece, the Reconcile the Dark. It's generated a few comments recently. Good to see that one getting some more traction. And if you're not a member, consider joining up. $60, check it out. If you're ready to see the good side of the truth, if you're stuck in the negative mindset of, oh, I'm a victim, then this website won't be for you. Until next time, you guys, take care of yourselves.